students, welcome to my channel Learning History Made Easy. In today's video, we will be discussing about the 10-mark questions from the second model paper in your passing package series. Before going into the video, if anyone is seeing the channel for the first time or if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends, and also click the bell button to receive notifications whenever I upload new videos. And if anyone wants to download the PDF notes of this model papers with answers, link is given in the description box. You can download the notes from the same. So without wasting time, let us get into the video. So as I have told, today's video is about the 10-mark questions. So the first question which we are going to discuss is, enumerate briefly the salient features of Indus Civilization. So one thing you'd always understand, when the question is asked about town planning, that will be a 5-mark question. You will only have to write about the buildings, the roads, the drainage system, etc. But when the salient features are asked, you will have to add some points from the social political conditions of Indus Civilization. So let us see how we will write a 10-mark answer for this question, salient features of Indus Civilization. So first point, town planning. As an introduction you can write, it is a unique feature of Indus Civilization. Their town planning proves that they lived a highly civilized and developed life. They were the first to build planned cities and scientific drainage system. And some cities have citadels to the west, which was built on a higher platform. On the east they had residential area. Both were surrounded by massive brick walls. Then the second subheading you can write about streets. They were straight and cut each other at right angles. They were 13 to 34 feet wide, and streets had lampposts at interval. Dustbins were provided in all the streets, and all these prove the presence of a good municipal administration in Indus Civilization. The next subheading, drainage system. They had excellent closed drainage system, and each house had its own drain and soak pit which was connected to the public drainage. Drains were covered and had manholes at intervals for cleaning, and large brick culverts were constructed on the outskirts of the city to carry the excess water. Indus people had a perfect underground drainage system. Next subheading, the Great Bath. It is one of the most striking features of Mohenjo-daro. It consists of a large quadrangle with a swimming pool in the center. It had rooms and galleries on 4 sides, and some rooms had arrangement for hot water bath. The swimming pool had flight of steps at either end, and the water was discharged by a huge drain. The Great Bath had withstood the nature ravages for 5,000 years. The next subheading about granaries. The largest building in Mohenjo-daro is a granary. It is 45.71 meters long and 15.23 meters wide. Brick platforms which form the base for granaries have been found in Harappa and southern part of Kalibangan. Granaries were used for storing grains. Next is buildings. Buildings and houses were built by the sides of the roads. Burnt bricks were used for buildings. Every house had 2 or more rooms, and there were also more than 1-storied houses. The houses had pillared halls, bathrooms, kitchens, wells, etc. Elaborate structures other than residential quarters have also been found, and there were also worksmen quarters. They had an excellent system of water supply and public wells, and big houses had its own well. A dockyard was also built at Lothal. Next, what I said is you will have to add some points from the political and social economic condition, because the question is about the salient features. If 5-mark question only about town planning comes, you can stop with this. Now this is a 10-mark answer, so you will have to add the points. Political condition of Indus Civilization. There is no much written records regarding the administration of this period. The accurate and systematic town planning have made historians believe that they had a strong system of administration. Social condition. Historians have said that there were 4 divisions of society based on occupation. The 4 divisions included the learned class, warriors, traders and workers. Wheat was their main food, and barley, rice, fruits, vegetables, milk, etc. were used. Fish, pork, poultry also was used, and they used cotton and woolen. They used cotton and woolen clothes. Indus women were fond of ornaments. Even men wore ornaments. Girdles, nose studs, earrings and anklets were worn only by women. The people had great love for indoor and outdoor games, and hunting, bullfighting, fishing, clay modeling, etc. were the means of amusement. They also knew dancing and music. Many earthen vessels made of potter's wheel have been discovered. Many weapons like axes, spears, daggers, bow and arrow, etc. were also discovered. They were made of copper and bronze. Their dead bodies were disposed by cremation or burial. Now the economic condition. Agriculture was their main occupation. They also followed cattle rearing and dairy farming. The Indus people knew the art of irrigation. The main plants which they grew are wheat, barley, peas, sesame, cotton. A number of handicrafts like spinning, weaving, pottery, carpentry existed. The Indus people knew the use of weights and measures, and they developed internal as well as external trade. Harappa, Lothal, Kalibangan, etc. were the main centers of trade. Trade was carried through barter system, that is exchange of goods for goods. Ivory, gold, beads and other goods were exported, and they imported precious stones, copper and tin. They used bullock carts, donkeys, elephants and camel for transportation. So all these were the important features or the salient features of Indus civilization. So as I have always said, heading by heading you have to understand first an introduction, then about town planning, in that only introduction is included, then about their granary, their streets, their buildings, their drainage system. Then you can go move on to their political condition, social and economic condition. So you can add on all the points and that becomes a perfect answer, the salient features of Indus civilization. So let us next move on to the next 10 mark question, which is a very important question. Sketch the life and teaching of Buddha. So here it is a clearly understood that the question has 2 parts. One is about the life of Buddha and second part is about the teachings of Buddha. So Gautama Buddha, Buddhism, he was a founder of Buddhism. He was born at Lumbini Garden in 563 BC. His early name was Siddhartha. His parents were King Shuddhodana and Queen Mayadevi. Mayadevi died when Siddhartha was a child of 7 days. He was brought up by his aunt Mahaprajapati Gautami. He married Princess Yashodhara at the age of 16 and his son was Rahula. Once when Siddhartha went out of the palace, he saw an old man, a sick man, a funeral procession and a sage. In the first 3 scenes, he saw only sorrows and suffering. He found happiness in the 4th. These 4 sights affected the life of young Siddhartha. He decided to renounce the worldly life and he left his wife, child, parents and his kingdom and he went out to find the cause for all these sorrows. This event is known as the Great Renunciation. That is, when Siddhartha left everything and went to find the cause of the sorrows, that incident is called as the Great Renunciation. He spent the life of a wandering ascetic. He attained enlightenment under a peepal tree at Gaya at the age of 35. From then onwards, he came to be known as Buddha, meaning the enlightened one. He was also called Tathagata, meaning the one who has realized the truth. His religion came to be called as Buddhism. He proceeded to the deer park near Sarnath and delivered his first sermon. This was called as Dharma Chakra Pravartana, or turning the wheel of Dharma. The symbol of Buddhism is Dharma Chakra. Buddha travelled around and preached his principles for 45 years. His simple teachings attracted people towards Buddhism. He attained Parinirvana at Kushinagara in UP at the age of 80. Edwin Arnold called him the light of Asia. Buddha's birth, enlightenment and death were all on the full moon day, that is Purnima, and his birthday is famous as Buddha Purnima. So this is the first part of your answer, that is life of Buddha. Now we move on to the second part, that is teachings of Buddha. Buddha preached 4 basic principles: Satya, truthfulness; Ahimsa, non-violence; Asteya, non-stealing; Brahmacharya, chastity; and he also preached 4 noble truths, that is Arya Satyas. Worldly life is full of sorrows. Desire is the root cause of sorrow. When desire ceases, rebirth ceases. And desire can be overcome by following Ashtanga Marga. Now Ashtanga Marga, that is 8 principles. It consists of right faith, right thought, right speech, right conduct, right effort, right meditation, right livelihood and right mindfulness. Buddha gave importance to conduct, not rituals and sacrifices. He was against caste system and he advocated equality and gave importance to ahimsa. He admitted men and women of all castes into his Sangha and he did not refer to God. So all these were the points regarding teachings of Buddha. So you can write the answer in 2 parts. First part, complete life of Buddha from his birth until his death. The second part, his teachings. So this is how you write the answer for the question, life and teaching of Gautama Buddha, a very important 10-mark question. Now the next question, write a note on the achievements of Krishnadevaraya. So when a question comes regarding achievements of a king, first you just write 2 points regarding the king as an introduction. Then you have to go on explaining the achievements. Mainly it will be conquests. So Krishnadevaraya was one of the greatest emperors of South India. He was a son of Tuluva Narasimha and Nagla Devi. Timmarasa was his prime minister, whom he called Appaji. Now we move on to the military achievements. The War of 1510. Sultan Yusuf Adil Shah of Bijapur and Sultan Muhammad Shah of Bidar attacked Vijayawada in 1510. Krishnadevaraya repulsed them. Yusuf Adil Shah lost his life and Krishnadevaraya occupied the fort of Raichur along with Krishna Tungabhadra Doab region. The next conquest, siege of Umaturu, 1513. Gangaraja, the Nayaka of Umaturu, revolted against Vijayawada. Krishnadevaraya laid siege to the Umaturu fort. The rebellion was subdued and the forts of Shivanasamudra and Srirangapatna were captured. Next is one of the most important part in Krishnadevaraya's military achievement, that is Kalinga expedition. This expedition was done by Krishnadevaraya to defeat the Gajapati ruler Prataparudra of Orissa. The expedition was conducted in 5 stages. In the first stage, Udayagiri fort was captured. The king went to Tirupati along with his 2 queens, Tirumalamba and Chinnamba, to worship Lord Venkateshwara. In the second stage, the king sieged the fort of Kondavidu and defeated the Reddis. The Krishna region of Andhra came under Krishnadevaraya and the administration of this region was entrusted to Salvatimma. In the third stage, Krishnadevaraya captured the forts of Vijayawada and Kondapalli, and Gajapati king came face to face with Krishnadevaraya but was forced to flee from the battlefield. In the fourth stage, he captured the forts of Anantagiri, Kanakagiri and Devarakonda and others in Telangana region, and he made a pillar of victory at Pothanur to commemorate the victory. In the fifth stage, he laid siege to Cuttack, the capital of Prataparudra, and Prataparudra sued for peace. Krishnadevaraya gave back all the territories in the north of river Krishna, and he also married Prataparudra's daughter, that is Jaganmohini. Next is the Battle of Raichur in 1520. When Krishnadevaraya was fighting against Kalinga, Ismail Adil Shah of Bijapur recaptured the fort of Raichur. Krishnadevaraya again fought the battle in the year 1520 and recaptured the fort. He was helped in this battle by Portuguese musketeers, and as a return, Krishnadevaraya sanctioned the monopolized business of supplying Persian horses to Vijayanagara army to the Portuguese. He went as far as Vijapura and also went to Gulbarga and defeated Amir Barid. He released the Bahmani Sultan from the prison and placed him on the throne. Therefore, he assumed the title Yavana Raja Pratisthapanacharya. Peace in Ceylon. There was a political instability in the island of Ceylon, that is Sri Lanka. Krishnadevaraya intervened in the political affairs and peace was established. Bhuvanekya Bahu, the son of King Vijayabahu, was brought to power, and the last days of Krishnadevaraya were unhappy as his only son Tirumala died under mysterious circumstances in 1524, and the king who was grieved by this incident died in 1529. Krishnadevaraya was a poet himself, and he wrote Amukta Malyata, Jambavati Kalyana and Usha Parinayam. There were 8 poets in his court called as Ashtadigajas. Krishnadevaraya abolished marriage tax, and he built a new city called as Naglapura, that is Hospet, in memory of his mother Nagla Devi. He built Purandara Mantapa at Hampi, and he also built many tanks and canals both for drinking water and irrigation purposes. The king was also an artist and inspired others, and the king himself acted as Krishna in the Sanskrit drama Jambavati Kalyanam during the Chaitra festival. He had many titles like Kavi Pungava, Karnataka, Andhra Bhoja, etc. So these were the achievements of Krishnadevaraya. So first, all his military achievements you have to write, and then his other cultural achievements you can add as the answer. So all these points are the points regarding the achievements of Krishnadevaraya. Now we have one more 10-mark question in this paper, and match the following in chronological order that I will be uploading in the next video. So with the next video, we will complete the second paper. So finally there will be one more paper. All these 3 papers together will be your passing package series. In case of any doubts or you want detailed explanation of any of these answers, you can go to the chapter wise videos and see a detailed explanation. Doubts you can ask in the comment section. And again I am telling, if you want PDF notes of these papers with answers, the link will be given in the description box. You can download the PDF notes from there. So I hope you understood all the points very clearly. So I hope to see you all soon in the next video. Please keep on revising, and thank you for watching.